What's going on out there, junkies? It's Kenshiro. We're back with Culture Junkies Live. Welcome to a really hyped show. Tonight, we're going to be talking about what goes into guilty pleasure movies, along with celebrating the birthday of a legendary comic book creator, and what in the hell is going on with Gotham right now. But let me cut to who's going to be on the show with me. We got the Super Nerd. How you doing, my friend?
Fantastic, my friend. Fantastic.
Awesome to see you. We also got Eric Joseph in the house. What's up, brother?
I'm doing fine, and I've got a mug of warm water to accompany.
Warm water, as in like tap water, bro?
Yeah. I just went last minute before the show. It's like, crap, I don't have anything to drink during the show. So this is pure neat water.
I guess it's better than a warm cup of piss, huh? I'd say so. Anyway, how you doing out there, junkies? Let's get this show on the road. So today we're going to be talking about guilty pleasures. But first thing, guilty pleasures in as far as films go. Now, first, let's get into the news in the nation. The news in the nation this week, we're gonna have we have some interesting things coming out in on DVD and on games. We got Yakuza Kiwami is coming out this today. We also got the expansion pack for XCOM 2, War of the Chosen. I'm a big fan of XCOM, so I might actually end up picking this up one day. But also pretty big for some people that love AAA titles is the Destiny 2 beta has launched for PC. I don't think it's on consoles yet. I know some people at work at my job are looking forward to playing it. Super Nerd, what do you think about Destiny? Are you gonna give it another go this time, or?
I don't know, because I bought the game because of the hype of everybody else. Played with a few people online, then got bored. And I think everybody else got bored with it too. So if it's like the first one, then I'm opting out on the second one.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
You know, it doesn't seem anything. It doesn't seem anything special. It don't look special to me. So
yeah,
I don't know, like, you know, all the other third-person shooters, you know.
Yeah, no, I can totally understand that. I can understand your hesitation to give them another shot, but you know, it might be worth it. You know,
it could be, but at the same time, it's like the DLC was crazy. You couldn't do anything other than damn near buy everything.
I mean, come on, it wasn't all that bad. I mean, sure, there was some DLC that you had to buy in order to really enjoy it, but it wasn't all that bad.
And that's my point, to enjoy it. But you got people running around with like level 100. I'm like, damn, I'm only at level 30. Son.
Yeah,
like,
I can understand that. You know, no, I told you. And there's some fans over there on our YouTube that are actually going to be checking out Destiny 2. He thinks it's going to be lit. That's Prodigy from our friends at Blacker Than Black Times Infinity. So hey guys, glad you could join us.
That's a dope ass name.
It is a dope name, man. It is a dope name. I don't hold nothing against them brothers, man. They do a really good job on their podcast. If you haven't checked out their podcast yet,
Absolutely.
you definitely need to go and check
of?
it out. What's that? What does it remind you of?
It reminds me. Remember a CB4?
Yes.
Yes. Like, I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, and I'm black, and I'm... Man, that's my movie right there.
Absolutely, CB4, man. Chris Rock, dog. I mean, I was in high school when that movie came out. I was like, what is this foolishness, dog?
I love it. Instantly, I saw it. I love that movie. It was funny.
Yeah. It was funny, man. So anyway. We're also going to be, we also need to look forward to the release of Baywatch. Baywatch is coming out on DVD, starring The Rock and Zac Efron and Priyanka Chopra and Alexander Daddario. Now, we're talking about guilty pleasure flicks, right? Was this not somewhat of a guilty pleasure flick? Like, it was tailor-made. Cheesy comedy, sexy women. What do you think?
I mean, that's all they can do to reboot something that was a serious tone TV show to make it funny. I mean,
Absolutely.
I probably will watch. I'm not gonna lie, yo, I like Zac Efron. I don't know why. I saw Dirty Grandpa and I was laughing at that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I probably will watch it. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Not gonna lie. I probably will watch it.
I'd watch it strictly for the sexy women. I mean, I love The Rock. Take nothing away from The Rock, but the sexy women will bring me in and bring me back. It didn't get me out to the theaters and make me want to pay for it, but it definitely would. It definitely would make me want to watch it if I'm at home in the privacy of my own, comfort from my own home. Eric, what do you think? Would you pay to see Baywatch? Would you just borrow it from would you get it from Redbox, or what do you think?
I wouldn't even watch it on TV. It just
dude, are you kidding me? What? You said you wouldn't even watch it on TV? What is that? What are you talking about?
There's nothing that makes me want to watch it. I mean, there are hot women in other movies that I would watch. It's a waste of time.
You're no fun. You're absolutely no fun.
I hear that a lot.
That's like one of those movies that come on TNT or TBS or something like that late at night. That's what they watch.
Prodigy said Transformers is low key his fave. Anyway. So that's coming out, but also what's coming out is Gotham season 3 on DVD and as a season. Now, Eric Joseph, he works for We Got This Covered.
Season 1.
Eric Joseph works for We Got This Covered, and he reviewed season 3. I watched half of season 3, and then I completely checked out. But I am not gonna lie, where they're taking the show next season, I can't do it, man. Look at this nonsense, dude. Are you kidding me? With this suit that they're gonna put on Bruce Wayne, are you kidding me? To make him the proto Batman or however you want to call it? That's nonsense, dude. Have you seen this?
Oh, I've seen it. It looked like cosplay starting off amateur day.
No, Eric had a nice little one-liner in pre-show. What was it that you said? What was it that you said in your article about this picture? What did you say?
Yeah, and let's preface by saying I like Gotham. I gave the Blu-ray for season 3 4 out of 5, but I admit that one of the detriments of season 3 was they weren't handling Bruce that well toward the end, and that's not the character you want to screw up. No. Now, that's not to say we'll see how I like season 4. I can't make any promises, but I'm going to watch. But yeah, this suit, okay, 2 reasons they're going in this route. One, they probably realize that there's only so many stories you can tell with a child Bruce Wayne, and 2 is they know that Axe is going to come down from Fox sooner rather than later, so they're making a dash to the finish line by making a skinny 16-year-old proto Batman. Now, we look at this and everyone calls him Bondage Bruce. I also like to call it Batboy.
Bondage Bruce actually sounds about right. Yeah.
I said he looks like. There were actually 3 comparisons I made. One was I said he looks like he's on his way to a fetish party. He's not yet old enough to attend. The other was that he looks like Everett McGill in The People Under the Stairs. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about.
He sure does.
Yeah, Marcus knows. Google image Everett McGill Under the Stairs, and you'll see a guy in bondage gear with a shotgun shooting at a ceiling. It's hilarious. When I was a kid, that was my one takeaway from the movie until I saw it again as an adult. I just remembered some guy. It was the first time I ever saw a Git mask, and I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah,
and then
Git masks are funny.
He also looks like someone cosplaying Big Daddy from Kick-Ass, but I mean,
that actually isn't that bad of a comparison. That actually isn't that bad of a comparison. I hadn't even put 2 together. That's not bad. That is not bad. You are absolutely right.
Definitely.
Prodigy said he looks like a retarded Magneto. A retarded Magneto ain't that bad. Farland Marvel said he looks like Baby Midnighter. And I can see that too. Baby Midnighter. Baby Midnighter. That does look like actually that actually sounds about right. So good shout out, Junkies. That's a good way to look at it, dude. I can't with this show anymore. I can't do it. I literally cannot do it. It's like I gave it 1 season. I loved the stuff they were doing in the first season with, you know, focusing on the crime families and all this kind of, it wasn't crazy. It wasn't about Batman and his villains, or you know, it was at least like really early in the beginning. And then it was like they just said, we're just going to hit the pedal to the metal. We're going to kill off all the crime bosses, and we're going to go in this weird ass direction. We're going to bring in Hugo Strange. We're going to, you know, bring in all these monsters that, you know, that Gotham certainly shouldn't be able to handle before Batman gets. It was just, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. I've checked out.
So how do they even get in the 4th season? Like,
Eric,
how do you even, like, is the ratings that bad or is it that good? I don't know. Eric, tell me what's going on.
They barely got in a 4th season. Like, if you watch the season 3 finale, those last 5 minutes, you can tell they did that in case it needed to be a season finale. But I mean, ratings were decent enough to where they moved it to Thursdays. But I mean, it drops off throughout each season. From the get-go, I said it would get 3 to 5 seasons before it ultimately got boxed. And it's basically on pace, but I hope that they would at least be able to get that 5-minute epilogue scene in a series finale where you see the characters blossom into who they're fully supposed to be. We see some kind of stunt double, an adult in a Batman suit. But I think the producers, one of the reasons they're doing this mad dash is because they know that axe could come down at any moment, and they don't know. They're not going to get the advance notice to say, like, hey, we're wrapping this up, end your story. It's not like the CW when they'll flat out announce at the beginning of a given season, like, this is the final season of whatever show. And the writers of that show have a whole year to end their season in the way they do. I mean, granted, they only do that for long-running shows like, you know, Smallville, The Vampire Diaries, the originals. Do it for like Arrow, The Flash, and so on. I mean, if a show is really tanking, they're just going to flat out cancel it. But I mean, even though Gotham's made those missteps, it does have its audience, and it's been around for a few years to the point, and it's still a Batman property. At least let it go out on a definitive ending. You know, that's. I think we can really
me personally, what they should have did, and I said it from day one. They should have just brought in the question. You have your whole detective element. You
That'd
have
be
your
nice.
Batman-esque like character. That's what they should have did, and then you can integrate with the other stuff if they was going to do that. But you would have had that, and I guarantee you, it would have been like, what's so funny?
Yo, Marcus Smith might have the best comment. He said, it looks like a bootleg Nightman, dog.
Hey! Yo! I remember Nightman.
You know what reminds me of is Dynamite's Black Bat.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Bootleg Nightman. That is hilarious, dude. Marcus Smith, big ups to you, brother. That was funny as hell. I love that. That was great. So anyway, let's move on. Enough about Proto Batman. Let's move on to someone that's actually worth talking about, and that's Jack the King Kirby. Happy birthday to the King. It was his birthday yesterday. He would have been 100 years old yesterday had he been living. Obviously, he has blessed us all. He's blessed all of us junkies with literally hundreds of great characters, man. He brought us the X-Men. He helped create the Hulk. He helped create, you know, he did Darkseid. He helped create the Black Panther. He did the Silver Surfer, Galactus. He did the man. He's done so much for comic book history. There's I mean, literally, we wouldn't be fans today if it wasn't for this man. Literally, we would not be fans today.
Jack the King Kirby.
Salute, my friend. Salute. So, with that being said, guys, I wanted to ask you.
Superman the animated series Dan Turpin was based on
yes, he was. His design was. Thank you for that, Eric. So I wanted to ask both of you, and I'll ask all of you junkies out there as well, who is your favorite, and please try and pick just one, your overall favorite ever Jack the King Kirby creation? It's hard. It's hard, I know. It's very hard, I know. It's hard to pick just one. Yeah, man. It's hard, I know.
Ooh.
He did not help create Spider-Man, so he does not count.
No, he didn't. I know. That's why.
Yeah.
I know. I looked. I said, no, he didn't.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say, well, how about a team?
Yeah, you can say a team. Go ahead.
Because my favorite cover is the Fantastic Four, when they had the
original,
Man.
The first one, the very
original,
first.
Yep.
Yeah, the very first
issue,
cover.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
I love that cover.
Yeah, that was an iconic cover. It is.
Artwork.
That is an iconic cover.
That cover
Absolutely.
is so sharp. Yeah.
Yeah, that is an iconic cover. Eric, what about you? What's your favorite Jack the King Kirby creation?
When you said that, I had to lean over to my collectibles cabinet, which is just off camera, and I will answer in the form of an action figure.
Darkseid, yes, Darkseid. So those of you that can't see that, Jack the King Kirby, he created the New Gods, and by far the most popular character in the entire New Gods pantheon is the Lord of Apocalypse, Darkseid.
I wanna break this down as far as his artwork. Like, if you look at the sharpness of the edges and the facial expressions, it's like nobody was doing that but him. It's like, I just find it so mesmerizing looking at his artwork. Like, damn, this dude created some dope ass art.
Yeah,
that's timeless, that you will always remember.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just love the way how he just. Go ahead.
Yeah, there were some artists from back in the day that really had distinctive styles. Because I mean, sometimes you can look at Golden and Silver Age comic books, and some guys. I mean, not to say they didn't love the medium, but they were just doing it for a job to make ends meet. But you had guys like Kirby, Gene Colan, Dick Sprang, back in the 50s working on Batman. I especially love Gene Colan's work with painting with a pencil, as they called it. But yeah. Kirby wasn't just an artist, as we said, he was a writer.
He was a storyteller. He was a storyteller.
Yeah, ideas. It's not confirmed, but there are urban myths that he was actually the sole creator of Fantastic Four and Avengers, just like urban myths that Steve Ditko was the sole creator of Spider-Man, but that's a discussion for another day. But yeah, Kirby was a workhorse because we normally writing artwork is more, drawing artwork is more time consuming than writing the books, because writers do they can do maybe a handful of books a month, and we did that back in the day. So an artist does an average of 20 pages a month. Jack Kirby would draw 70 pages per month.
Yeah.
Jack Kirby was like Tupac before Tupac. He just put out shit and just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Something worth mentioning is that I haven't read any of them yet, but DC did a series of one-shots this month honoring Kirby's 100th birthday, and I definitely at least got to read the Darkseid one at some point. But they did a bunch of ones they even, I think, did a Newsboy Legion, and yeah, they did some obscure ones, and then stuff with the New Gods. But yeah, I think DC put out maybe 5-6 one-shots this month, all dealing with obviously properties Kirby created for that.
Hey, stay on target. Need you to stay on target, my friend.
It's still Kirby.
Still Kirby, but let's stay on topic. Anyway. So
wait, that was hella weird. Thank you for that, Ken.
You're welcome. Well, maybe you couldn't hear it, but I thought you could. But in any case, you did hear it. You heard it. Okay. So anyway, my favorite Jack King Kirby creation. Man, this is really tough to narrow down. Mine might be. Damn, man, this is super hard. I mean, if I had to pick just one, it might have to be the X-Men, dude. It might have to be the X-Men. The X-Men, to me, because of what it spoke to generationally, it speaks to any young teenager that is going through changes within their body. It speaks to minorities and the difficulties that they go through in this nation, to be hated just for being born. The amount of stories that they had over the years, the decades. I mean, Super Nerd, you and I, we were talking the other day about just how good Chris Claremont's God Loves Man Kills was.
Absolutely.
It's an absolutely fantastic book, and it's timeless. Like, it came out in the early 80s, and I bought it for my daughter, who was just turned 16 earlier this year, and she read it and she was like, "Daddy, I really loved that X-Men book." She was blown away by it. You know, she loved it, and this was a 35-year-old book at the time when I bought it for her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. It was so, you know, the X-Men were, you know, as Brian, our friend Brian over there on the YouTube is saying, the X-Men was so vital. Prodigy says he still needs to read that. Yes, you do. You absolutely need to read God Loves Man Kills.
You do.
It's required reading, and we cannot thank him enough. Yes, I saw that. Well, we're gonna have a special guest join us in a second, so I need for some of you to I need you two to kind of hold the wheel so I can get her in.
Son.
Talk a little bit about Jack the King Kirby, if you don't mind.
I mean, Big Kahuna. I know you there, brother.
No,
Tell me about
not.
your.
He's.
Yes,
Oh, it is Kahuna. There he is. What's up, my friend?
Somebody wasn't paying attention.
Shut up, man. Shut up.
All right, I've been. He been messaging me like, "You coming?" I'm like, I was like, "No."
Well, you said you wasn't gonna come, man.
I was like, "Dude, I'm in the room."
Wow, really? Anyway.
Funny thing is, I wouldn't say his name if I can clearly see him.
Shut up, okay? Shut up, all right? I wasn't paying attention to the window. All right? I'm busy trying I'm busy trying to run a call here. Anyway.
Blah, blah, blah. Big Kahuna.
Kahuna, who is yours?
Go ahead with your...
Who was your favorite Jack the King Kirby creation?
Brother? I'm kind of with the X-Men, but if it has to be a singular character, it would definitely be Incredible Hulk.
Be the Hulk, okay.
It'll be the Hulk just because, man, I used to be the Hulk back in the day, man. I had a terrible temper. Like,
I had a terrible temper too, brother. Like, I did too, man.
In the past, man, I've lost so many jobs cussing out owners of companies and managers and customers. Like, anytime I felt like I got talked down to,
right,
I would snap. I just see red, and I would just go off on people, man. I used to have such a. It was only then that I wasn't just like, walking around pissed at the world. It was only when I felt like I was being disrespected, or like talked to.
Y'all brothers need a hug.
I mean,
what? We need a hug. What?
If I was talked down to, or
no, I'm fucking with
talk like a child or some shit like that.
Right.
That was
right.
Yeah.
And that would just be straight Incredible Hulk. And I used to love to take my anger out of stuff. I used to love destroying shit. I used to just destroy anything. When I worked at I used to work at Linens and Things when it was still, and I was in the shipping department. And when stuff breaks or can't be sold anymore,
right,
they destroy it. They throw it out.
Right.
My manager used to let me take the whole cart of all the broken shit, and I would just destroy it even more before I throw it away, just to vent my frustration from working there. So yeah,
like, you rip out your clothes and everything.
Yeah. So yeah, Incredible Hulk. Incredible Hulk was like that was a person I could that was a character I connected with.
Okay. No, I feel you.
That's dope.
I feel you.
But also X-Men, man. X-Men was, man, when I was little, X-Men was my shit.
Hey, you gotta say X-Men. Just. That first issue with Magneto was dope as hell, and I love that at first. Like, if I can find that one, like the ones I got on my back wall right here,
even as just a reprint, even if it was just a reprint.
If it was a reprint,
right?
Absolutely, it's just something of, like I said, Kirby's facial expression says it all. Like, it just shows like either they're angry, sad, happy, or just pissed off. He did the detail. It was like, it wasn't even like super detailed. It just fine lines.
Right.
And it just told how they felt. And that's why he always be king.
Look who is here.
Meow, meow.
Hello, Meow Yin.
Meow, 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 meow.
Hello, all you happy people.
How you doing, girl?
Oh,
I'm alive.
She's
I'm
alive. She's alive. So hey, welcome back to the live show. We have missed you quite a bit.
I know the new folks.
I've missed you
The
guys
new folks is
too.
watching this like, who is this chick?
Right. Right. A few things have changed with her, but we won't get into that now. We don't have time. So I want to ask you, Miayen, who
Yes.
is your favorite
Miayen.
Jack? Who is your favorite Jack the King Kirby creation?
I actually don't know.
Oh my goodness!
I come in here and I don't even have answers. I'm just gonna leave, guys.
No, you don't. No. Okay, so
I didn't say I was going to.
nah.
You got a plethora of people. He damn near created everybody.
Right. So
Right.
okay, all right. So do you basically need help recognizing who he created, or you just can't choose just one? Is it that hard?
I know he created a lot of people, but I just, gosh, I
Throw
don't
one
know,
out. Throw one.
honestly.
Like, who's your favorite that you might recognize? That
The thing, okay, so let me be 100% honest. I know he created a lot of people, but I don't know exactly who.
okay. All right,
Not
that's
gonna
fine.
sit here and
That's
lie like
fine.
I know.
Guys, let's help her out. Let's help our girl out. He created Black Panther,
Mm-hmm.
so there's that.
Absolutely.
He created the Fantastic Four. He helped create the X-Men. He helped create a new guy. So Darkseid is one of his characters. He created the Silver Surfer as well. Those are just some of the ones that like right off the top of my head. So any of those, any of your favorites, like that you like for what they brought to the
Well, y'all
table?
know I like the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love the X-Men.
Mhm.
That's like my favorite thing from Marvel.
Okay,
Um,
so the X-Men. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Both Kahuna and I said the X-Men, and there's no shame in having a third. There's no problem with that at all. So, anybody else? Or is that it?
Say the Black Racer, the Silver Surfer on skis, basically.
He did. Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
That's true.
power-
Yes, he did.
The power cosmic.
The power cosmic.
You know what I have to say about the whole thing? Is you see like every person in or in the space of Marvel,
Mhm.
whatever, would have the
Mhm.
glowing hand.
Yeah.
Like the way Kirby drew that.
Mhm.
That signifies the hand was like with the black spot.
Hey
I
man,
thought that was
you remember
dope as hell.
like the old Silver Surfer, the Silver Surfer cartoon that came out was basically almost Kirby's
Oh, yeah.
life brought to life. You know, it had
Right.
it, and that was one of the things
And
that I liked about it back in the day is that it did reflect the old Kirby art style. You know, and I really love that homage to Kirby.
And if you remember Earth's Mightiest Heroes, they did the same thing with Iron Fist, I believe. No, Captain Marvel, Ms.
Mhm.
Marvel.
They
Yeah.
actually call them Kirby dots in the industry.
Yeah.
Yep. Nope. So anyway, guys, we are going to move on to our main topic. It's 9:30. So we're gonna go. Prodigy's like Galactus was a slave owner. Low key, he kind of was though. But anyway, he kind of was with him and his
That's why his oppressor was
heralds.
left.
Yeah. So anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start talking about guilty pleasure movies, right? So we had a discussion in our discussion group yesterday, and it was pretty popular. The question of the day that we asked was, "What's your favorite guilty pleasure?" And we had a whole bunch of people come up with some really obscure titles. We had, of course, Negative Nancy Dave bring up a bunch of ones that absolutely weren't guilty pleasures at all. But he tried to say they were guilty pleasures.
Go over the definition of.
Thank you, Kahuna. That is going to be the first thing we're going to talk about. What makes a guilty pleasure film? In my opinion, a guilty pleasure film is a film that you just know is just bad. It's just a bad film, but you just can't help watching it. Like, it didn't do good in the theaters. It didn't do good with critics, but for some reason you just love this film. You just there's something about it that just makes you either laugh or you just have a fondness for this film. So, guys, what do you think makes up a good guilty pleasure flick? Miaoyan, I'll start with you. Ladies first.
Okay. All right. So I was gonna actually hop in on the post yesterday. I didn't have time, and then I forgot. And I know I'm gonna probably get roasted for this. I don't care. Catwoman is actually.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, right off the jump! Wow. Right off the jump, she comes up with some disgusting stuff. Oh, right off the jump.
It's
okay.
Awful. I know. I own that.
But
that film.
Okay, but what about it? What about it makes you love it? Like you know it's a terrible film, but what makes you love it?
All right, if you strip everything away from it, if you strip the fact that it's supposed to be Catwoman, like so badass, but then she's just like Halle Berry in a suit, like the story itself. I was just like, all right, this is a cute story. And then also Sharon Stone does it for me because Sharon Stone is awful in that movie as a character, is like a total crazy person. And I kind of liked it. I was just like, you know, she's trying to do it. So, hey, there were some awkward parts, like the basketball. Well, the whole movie is awkward. Let me not try to even. Yeah, but you know, it's just one of those things. It's a movie I can put on, I'll watch, and I'll just be like, ha, kind of good.
Yeah. Okay. But what are the characteristics? You know, does anybody else have to say? I mean, I know Myayan just went and said Catwoman was hers, and I'm not gonna take that away from her. That it's her guilty pleasure film. But what are the characteristics of a guilty pleasure film? Going beyond just, you know, the rating, what it didn't do, like what makes it, you know, a guilty pleasure flick? Like there's certain aspects of any kind of film that you have that makes it a guilty pleasure. So what would that be?
Low budget.
Low budget.
Go on.
Well, not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily have to be low budget though, right? It can still be bad. It can still be bad and like have a whole bunch of money put behind it. It could just be
there's tons of films that are crap that don't have low budget.
Right. So I wouldn't. Typically it does kind of have a low budget. Okay, I'll give you that. Typically it does kind of have a low budget because it's not very well funded. Okay, fine.
So Mallrats did terrible in the box office, but it was a cult following when it came to DVD and VHS.
Okay.
So I mean, I love Mallrats because I love Kevin Smith's work. You know, that's just me.
But
if you really think about it,
but therein may reveal a little, because you're biased to the filmmaker, that might taint your. Because see, here's the thing. A lot of people say Mallrats did poor in the theaters because people didn't get Kevin Smith and they didn't get, you know, his art style. But Mallrats is still kind of a cult classic. It's not necessarily a guilty pleasure. So I think we need to move Mallrats out of that discussion. But what else would you say is
I got a movie for you.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Hold on that thought. Eric, what were you going to say? What would you say is a characteristic of a guilty pleasure flick?
My categorization is pretty much spot on with yours. You know it's crap, but there's something that just draws you to it. It's most cases it's because it makes you laugh. It might even be a movie from a franchise you like, but there's something that makes you watch it. Because, like, for me, Batman and Robin, I don't think I could watch it without Arnold Schwarzenegger's ice puns. But it has to be something that, like, also, like, I'll just say we were going over it in pre-show. Okay, an example for me, Superman 3, I enjoy absolutely nothing about the movie. Superman 4 is bad, but it makes me laugh. You just look at it, how much the budget dipped. You can see people on wires in the movie. You can see black curtains when they're on the moon. You know, it's supposed to simulate outer space.
Okay.
There's just
hilarious. So then we can add to the list poor production value. I guess we could say is a characteristic of a guilty pleasure. So it has poor production values. Kahuna, what would be another characteristic for you? Now, maybe in a way we're leaving out something pretty important in most typical, you know, guilty pleasures for guys, I guess you could say. Cheesy dialogue, sure. Okay, Kahuna, what's a characteristic that you got?
Damn, y'all pretty much said everything. Like, yeah, bad production, dialogue. Okay, you guys pretty much nailed it all. I mean, like from me, my definition is just, a movie that's just did poorly. It doesn't matter if it did bad in the box office or it did good in the box office.
Okay, right.
It's what the majority knows to be a horrible movie. Yet you like it, and you're somewhat even embarrassed to admit that you like the movie.
Now, for me, a good, I wouldn't say good, a quality soundtrack, I guess you could say, also makes it a guilty pleasure, because if the soundtrack like makes you jump, like say, Queen and their Flash Gordon soundtrack, I mean, come on, man. That movie was bad up and down, but the soundtrack just makes you just like, you can sing along with the theme song, dude.
Gordon is that Flash Gordon, when that was out, I was living in Hawaii,
right?
And that was one of my favorite movies when I was little. Like every time I went over my uncle's house, I would watch. He owned the movie, and I used to watch the movie all the time whenever I went over his house.
It was because of the soundtrack, wasn't it?
It's probably most of it is like that, but yeah. Like when I look back on it now, like I tried to rewatch it one time, and I was like, why the hell did I watch it?
No, I get it. Terrible. No, I totally get it, man. I totally get it. But Flash Gordon was
for me, my perfect example of guilty pleasure movies would be like the Ernest Goes to movies.
Yeah,
Ernest Goes to Camp. Ernest Halloween.
Okay, so then campiness would be another guilty pleasure quality. And now here's something that we could say, and Marcus can back me up on this, because some of these 80s flicks were just rife with them. But like we can pick on some of the Friday the 13th movies and know that they're guilty pleasures, but
Jason X, baby.
they always gotta have some kind of titillation in there, some sexy, some sexy girls or something like that just are on screen only because they're sexy, and they get knocked off because they serve their purpose.
You said it, Ken, and Marcus, you brought up Friday the 13th, so sing it with me. Friday the 13th, Part 5.
Oh my God, that movie.
Oh man, yeah.
What
was 5? What happened in 5?
5 was oh shit, I can't remember 5.
He was a Jason imposter, but it was one of the funniest.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I remember that one.
See, Tony Mentor over on Facebook, she gets it. Tony Mentor on Facebook, she gets it. A guilty pleasure movie would be the Porky films. The Porky films from back in the 80s.
Oh,
yeah, I mean those are guilty pleasures, dude.
The Porky films were porn for when I was a kid.
Yes, absolutely. She absolutely gets it. So anyway,
yo, Revenge of the Nerds.
Okay.
I fucking love that movie.
Yes. Okay. So great. Here we go. I'm glad
1
we're
and
here.
2. I don't like part 3.
I think everybody that's seen that movie kind of likes it though.
We've reached the point where I think we've established a good list of what makes a good quality guilty pleasure flick, right? So we're gonna spend the last 20 minutes of the show. We're gonna try and nail down which are the absolute best top 10. We're gonna try and nail it down to just 10. The top 10 guilty pleasure movies of the last 40 years. And let me tell you this. The reason why I had to do 40 years is because I had to keep Flash in there. I had to keep the King of the Impossible in there. If I didn't, he wouldn't be in there. So I had to keep Flash in there somehow, some way. And beyond that, if we didn't make it 40 years, we wouldn't have been able to put in what's another? Oh, Superman 3, Superman 4. Those would automatically been
Toxic Avenger.
Out. Toxic Avenger would have been Toxic Avenger would have been out.
No.
What do you mean just no? Just no what?
It's kind of hard though, because a guilty pleasure movie is kind of subjective to the person.
Yeah,
it is.
That's what I was gonna say. Just go.
It is, but I think we can all agree. I think we've all seen enough of these guilty pleasure flicks that we can all kind of agree that they need to be on there. Like here's one. Here's one that I saw on a bunch of lists that people say was a bad movie, but almost all of us can agree that that movie was just a guilty pleasure. We love it backwards and frontwards. Tango and Cash.
Oh yeah.
Tango Cash was awesome.
Yeah. But see, that's what, dude. A lot of people said that movie was terrible. It bombed in the box office. Critics hated it, but for some reason we love it.
People keep. That's what I feel like they're doing. All these lists that I see online, a lot of it is because it bombed in the theater, which to me doesn't count.
Right. Well, to me, I think it does kind of.
Transformer does pretty good in the movie theater, and we all.
But the movie is trash, dog. Come on, you know that's trash. That's trash, bruh. That is not no guilty pleasure.
It still does get in the. But it still.
Excuse me. I thought you were talking about Transformers as being a guilty pleasure.
No. I was giving an example of most of these lists.
Right.
They put them on the guilty pleasure list because they bombed in the box office.
See,
but I was comparing it to Transformers. I said Transformers does good in the box office, but it's garbage.
Well, LGZ's over in Facebook saying Tango and Cash was garbage. She said it sucked. Tango and Cash was awesome, dude. It was awesome for a multitude of reasons. So that's one. I would love to put it on there. What does the panel say? Eric, what do you think? Tango and Cash, is that a good one?
Possibly. I was gonna say there is one that hits every bullet point we've mentioned, and that's Mortal Kombat Annihilation. It was shit. The dialogue was bad. The costuming was bad.
Especially the second and third one.
Yeah, well, the acting was bad, but yeah, the fighting and the music were good. Like that, both Mortal Kombat movies had great soundtracks, but yeah, it's like Mortal Kombat kind of.
Okay.
I mean, you just watch it maybe because of your love of the franchise, but it's like that's kind of like the quintessential like guilty pleasure.
You know, it's like okay, all right, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. We can put it on there. Kuna, what do you say? You say that's a good one? Mortal Kombat Annihilation?
Oh yeah, the second and wasn't there a third one too?
The second, I don't even remember the third one. I don't even care about the third one, but the Annihilation is the second.
Street Fighter.
Street Fighter. You only saying that because of Ming Na Wen, dude. Come on now. Don't front. You only saying that's because of Ming Na Wen. Street Fighter was terrible. And like almost.
I'm not putting it on there because of her. I'm just saying it's a guilty pleasure movie because I watch it every time it comes on.
Do you really? How do you subject yourself to that? Do you really? Okay. All right. What else? It
is nice. It is nice to see Ming Na Wen in the
yeah, she is. I'm not. No,
I'm voting against that movie.
Okay.
No.
All right. So Miao says no. What do you say? Super Nerd says yes. What do you say, Eric?
Street Fighter. I would watch Street Fighter all day.
Yeah, Street Fighter. I remember it beat Mortal Kombat to theaters. So when the first Mortal Kombat came out, I mean, that by comparison, it was a much better film, and you were, all the kids in school like, oh yeah, Mortal Kombat's better, but yeah, Street Fighter has so much campiness, but I think there's another quality we maybe were kind of touching on with, that can be another guilty pleasure, and you mentioned it running down the Blu-rays, just because there might be a celebrity you're attracted to, and granted, this disqualifies it from the list because it's a TV series and not a film, but
come on, bruh.
I'm not a fan of Charm, but if it's on, there are obvious reasons I'll watch it. It's technically not a bad show, but
not quite in the wheelhouse of what we're talking about. So that's disqualified.
I think a lot of people like Charm, though.
Yeah, a lot of people do like Charm. So anyway, you guys over on Facebook, you guys are killing it right now. You guys are throwing up a whole bunch of titles. I have to rewind the chat and go back and name some of these. So. I got one, Starship Troopers, guilty pleasure. I love that film. I will watch that anytime it is on. Starship Troopers, absolutely.
But everybody loved that movie though.
Who's everybody?
I've never met everybody that didn't like that movie.
Starship Troopers is one of the kind of cult classic sci-fi movies of the 90s, but I think the sequel would qualify as guilty pleasure.
All right. So you say so the original Starship Troopers.
I got one.
Probably not. Okay, fine. Starship Trooper is not on the list. All right.
I got one.
What?
What about Ghost of Mars?
Oh, with Ice Cube? With Ice Cube? Oh, man.
I would watch that movie in a heartbeat. I was
You
about to
guys,
say, oh,
you guys,
and
you guys talk it out, and let me know what you think. If you think it's in
Puppet
there.
Master.
No, Ghost of Mars. What do you think, Miayan? You say Ghost of Mars? Yes.
It was terrible. It was good though.
I was just throwing Puppet Master out there, but
I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would put that on the top 10 list though.
Yeah, I don't know if I
Ghost
would
of
either.
Mars?
Yeah, I don't know if I would either. Some people are saying, Prodigy saying, yeah, Prodigy saying episode 1, but I don't think any Star Wars movie can be on this list. I'm sorry. I don't think any Star Wars movie can be on this list. The first Resident Evil, Brian is saying, is a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
I can see some of the movies as being a guilty pleasure. Actually, the franchise itself is a guilty pleasure. If you think about it,
it is.
the entire franchise
watch it.
itself is a
Most of
guilty
them will.
pleasure.
what if you've seen that?
What'd you say? What, Eric? What'd you say?
Alone in the Dark with Christian Slater by the master Uwe Boll.
Just
I
have
got one.
Is that the one with Tara Reid?
I got one.
Yes. Makes me want to throw
Bro,
up and he's
I
just
got
hearing
one.
his name. Okay.
Who remembers Hard Rain with Morgan Freeman and Christian Slater?
I have that movie.
I would watch that movie every day if it come on.
I have
Hard
the DVD.
Rain.
Oh god.
Y'all remember Hard Rain?
It's not a good movie.
Y'all remember Hard? That was good. I mean, I liked it. I loved it.
Okay.
Y'all remember Hard Rain?
Okay. So Miayan and Super Nerd say yes. Eric and Cisco, what do you say?
Which one?
Hard Rain with
Hard
Morgan
Rain with
Freeman
Morgan Freeman and Christian Slater.
and Christian Slater.
I'm having a hard time recalling that one. But
Okay.
Okay, so remember there's in a small town and the dam broke and the whole city got flooded. It was raining. And then I
Okay.
guess it was some money from a truck they try to rob or whatever.
I'm not sure, but I'll throw Sharknado out there too.
No.
Oh, you took
Oh,
mine.
You know,
God.
we almost kind of have to, man, because those things are so
God, I
bad.
hate those movies
Those
so
things
much.
are so bad, but they're like the ultimate guilty pleasure because every sci-fi keeps making them and they get the ratings. I don't know, they get the ratings, but everybody knows that those things are terrible. It's like they're parroting
It's
themselves.
like the ultimate guilty pleasure movie.
Absolutely. So I think we have to put them on there. I think we have to put them on there as much as we'd have to put on the Resident Evil flicks. So
Because it's so ridiculous.
it's so ridiculous.
guess,
It's
yeah.
so
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's so
That's what I like
ridiculous.
about it.
Right. So okay. So if we
I
say
got one.
If that's
Okay.
the case, then every sci-fi movie that comes on.
Yeah, but
No,
it's
what-
stick with the more well-known one because I mean, no one's gonna really. We'll probably won't get much poster attention for like Mega Croc versus Gatoroid.
no,
although
no,
Yeah.
yeah, no. All right.
Why?
So
Why?
what? Come on, man. You already should know why. I mean, just because it's on sci-fi doesn't make it a guilty pleasure. Obviously, like some of those sci-fi movies are just terrible, really just terrible. Sharknado at least pulls in the people.
And they
That's
don't fit the
all
criteria?
cable movies.
Yeah.
That's all cable movies.
And they
So
don't fit the criteria though.
you know,
yes,
Oh, okay, this movie.
yes, it does. But I just think I don't think there's enough people that say that's a guilty pleasure. I'm gonna go out of my way to see it. You know what I mean? Not like they do with the Sharknado films. That's all I'm saying. Some people, Egon88 on YouTube said Hackers is a guilty pleasure. I don't know. Is that more cult classic than a guilty pleasure? Okay, yeah, Hackers is more.
Yeah.
Prodigy even says Tomb Raider, and I still think that's more cult classic too.
That's a cult classic
that's
as
a cult
well.
classic too. What about the Addams Family? What about the Addams Family? Any of those? I mean, I don't think anybody considered those
love
really
those
bad
movies.
films. Did anybody really
Yeah, I
consider
love
those
those
bad films though? They did well. Okay, my brother raised his hand. He just walked by. He said they were bad films, but I can't count. Well, I guess I can count
Hey.
that. So
You remember a movie called Heavyweight that came out for Disney back in like 90,
Heavyweights.
95?
Yeah,
94?
Heavyweights. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah, Heavyweights.
That's my movie.
Okay. All right.
I have
Go
Chain
ahead.
Reaction.
Oh, with Keanu Reeves and
Yes,
Morgan
with
Freeman,
Keanu
right?
Reeves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And Gamer.
Gamer.
With-
Was that
with Timothy Hall and
Wow.
Gerard Butler?
Yeah, I meant to see that. That's almost like Ready Player One in a way, isn't it? Like the book
Yeah.
Ready Player One, isn't it kind of like
Yeah.
that? Yeah, I wanted to
think
see
it was
that.
loosely based on that, but
Yeah.
it's a guilty pleasure for me. A lot of
Okay.
people thought it was a shit movie. But
Here's a couple. And
How
I know
how
you
about-
know we've done a lot of sci-fi ones, so I want to move away from them after these ones that I give you. Now I'll let you go in a second, Kuna. We got Aliens 3 and Aliens versus Predator. Now Aliens versus Predator, I think.
Nope.
What?
Nope. Alien
No?
Resurrection. Alien Resurrection.
I would argue that those are all cult classics too. If you like the Alien movies, like people were.
I can
But
I
Alien
can see
Resurrection was
that.
terrible, but it was good though. I liked it.
I liked it too, but I had to see it because I was working in the movie theater.
I refuse to fucking watch Alien Resurrection.
This isn't for me personally, but should we put My Little Pony on the list?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, how about the original
Somebody,
Go ahead.
Well, no, I was gonna say Anthony Minter in the chat said one that I was gonna say, which was Jumpers. So I like.
I like Jumpers. I did like Jumpers.
Jumpers was good.
I did like Jumpers, and it was terrible. So I guess we could put it on the list. Jumpers could be on the list. What about the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Like the movie with Christy Swanson.
Yeah.
The movie with Christy Swanson.
That was my movie.
You know,
And P.B. Herman was fucking hilarious in that movie.
yes, he was. You know what? This just reminded me.
Oh, there you go.
I'm gonna kill you and your little dog too.
Yes.
The Pee Wee Herman movies.
Yeah, the Pee Wee's Big Adventure, but that's come on like cult classic though. Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Really?
Yeah, Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Yeah, it's cult classic.
It was.
Yeah, it was. So anyway,
You couldn't tell me everybody had big bow ties and white shoes walking around here.
Speaking of, what was that, Kuna?
How about Con Air?
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Con Air.
a lot of people like that.
I'll have to put this to the rest of you because it might be towing the line between guilty pleasure and cult classic, but it's been memed to holy hell since because of its great Nicolas Cage faces. Vampire's Kiss.
The one vampire, the Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I think that one goes on the guilty pleasure list because that's an awful damn movie.
Okay. Here's one, and we're speaking of Christy Swanson. I have to say this, but you know that movie with Christy Swanson and Charlie Sheen, The Chase, I think it was. Would that be a guilty
That's my
pleasure?
movie right there.
I liked that movie.
Yeah.
That'd be one.
I like that movie.
I kind of like that one.
The Tremors.
Charlie Sheen, fucking Major League. Those movies.
No, that is not no guilty pleasure. That is a cult classic. Get out of here with that.
That's cult classic.
That's a cult classic.
Really?
Get out of here with that.
I know those movies are awful.
Those movies
but
are
then
awesome.
I like them.
Up your
Hey,
butt,
listen, Eric
Jobu.
said Tremors. but Tremors.
Major League.
It's very bad to steal Jobu's rum. It's
Wow.
very bad.
Would Tremors be a cult classic, like Eric said?
Yeah, I think so. Anthony Minter said that too. The Tremors. Oh, here's one. Here's one that a lot of people will say is a guilty pleasure. The Craft. A lot of people loved The Craft.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a cult classic. What are you talking about?
Okay. All right. Okay. I can see that. Highlander also would be
The
a cult
Faculty.
classic. The Faculty.
Faculty.
With Elijah Wood and Usher.
That's definitely a guilty pleasure.
Lena?
No.
You like it? You like the movie because Usher was in the girl?
No, I hated that movie, but I watch it anyway. So it is a guilty pleasure.
You watch it because Usher telling his confessions.
Wow.
You watch Usher because of his confessions.
Okay. All right. So like we wasted like 20 minutes that fast rattling off, some guilty pleasures that we thought
top 20.
and we don't even have a top 10. It's like we've come up with a lot, but I don't know, like it's almost like we need to do a top 20. Now, if I rattled off a couple more, like would you say but some people say Buckaroo Banzai is a guilty pleasure. I think some people would say Enemy Mine is a guilty pleasure. Flight of the Navigator is a guilty pleasure.
I got one. Remember the movie called The Net with Sandra Bullock?
I do remember The Net.
No?
Not sure.
What about Speed? Not sure? Not sure?
Not sure. You know what?
Speed
You know what we're gonna have to do?
pleasure.
You know what we're gonna have to do? Speed as a guilty pleasure. I don't know. That's more cult classic though.
Good.
Yeah,
that-
Speed is like a cult classic though. So I don't know about that one. So you know what we'd have to
That's the
do?
problem.
We'd have
It's
to
really hard. It's hard to distinguish. It's such a thin line between guilty pleasure and cult classic.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
It's
Like
such a
like
thin
Fallen
line
Marvel
between
just put in Suburban Commando as a guilty pleasure.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that.
No holds
that-
barred.
No Holds Barred is a guilty pleasure. Cause like I will
That's
watch
a
No Holds
guilty
Barred.
pleasure.
I will watch No Holds Barred for sure.
With Rip.
It was ripped. Woo.
Yeah,
Yes.
that counts. I don't know if
Yes.
many people are going to know this one because it's more like a horror genre, but Troll 2. It's
Yeah.
Trolls.
Ah!
Yeah.
Oh,
here's
right.
one.
Oh yeah, since we were there, House 2.
the second story.
The second one with the
The
crystal
second
skull.
story. The second story, yeah.
Yeah, the second
Okay,
story,
what
yeah.
about, I mean, no, Legend of Billie Jean is a cult classic. That's not a guilty pleasure.
What about Critters?
Critters would probably count.
Cult classic?
Is it-
I mean,
Cult classic?
I know,
Okay.
Ain't
I
nobody
know
like
one that
Critters.
we can all agree with.
What's
is
that?
Guilty pleasure.
What's that?
Man with the Iron Fist 1 and 2 with the
Girl,
Rita.
please, miss me with that. I ain't
Oh,
even
hell
trying to
no.
hear that.
The two?
Please.
Hell no, I ain't
Ain't no
fucking
way.
Good.
Girl,
Is the second
please.
one?
Hey,
Anything with RZA. Anything with RZA is not a guilty pleasure. That just is straight trash. Straight
No,
trash.
it's a guilty
Listen, no-
pleasure.
I still
that
know RZA,
movie.
but
I
No.
love both those movies, and they
Straight
are
trash.
terrible.
No.
hey, the reason I
Straight
say
trash.
Critters is because I haven't seen. Listen, the reason I say Critters because I have not seen one action figure or anything resembling Critters besides Gremlins, but nobody talks about Critters like that.
Right.
How about
Nobody talk about Critters like that.
Some people
Yeah, they
said swordfish. Anthony Mentor says swordfish
Yeah.
with.
Yeah,
I mean, you kind of got to see
that was
how.
pretty dope,
Here we go.
It's
I
not a
forgot.
bad movie.
I
yeah,
forgot.
Swordfish was good.
Here's one I was gonna put
Especially-
in, and it's actually on the poster. Here's a couple actually that I put on the poster, and we didn't even talk about them. Masters of the Universe.
Oh, that's definitely on the top 10.
That's on the top 10 of guilty pleasures.
I watch it all the time. I don't-
Yes, sir.
I don't-
Yes, sir. I don't care how bad it is. I would watch it. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, that's definitely
Yeah.
They come out with like 10 of those.
Oh,
I still
I
know what you did.
never watched that one.
Yeah, they're awful.
you never watched
No, Maximum Overdrive.
Maximum Overdrive? Yes, that's a good one. That is a good one. That is a very good one.
That's my movie.
All right, so you know what we're gonna have to
Border
do?
that line of cult classic.
Yeah.
slash-
Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do, junkies. If you're not a part of the discussion group, you need to go and find it like right away, because we are going to put like a poll, and we're gonna try and do like a tournament and whittle this thing down, because it's getting to be close. You know, it's getting to be 10 o'clock right now, so we got to go ahead and get out of here. But we got a lot of movies to cover. We're gonna help us whittle it down. Come over to our discussion group and join. Make sure you answer the questions and let us know where you heard about Culture Junkies from and join in. But also go ahead and find us on watch the show back on YouTube and watch other previous shows as well. Meow Yin, it was good to see you, girl. Don't make it so long before you come back and join us again.
I won't. I'll try to be here more often.
Awesome,
I'll
appreciate
pop
it.
in
Yeah, do
and pop
that.
out.
Do that. Pop in and pop out. No, you pop in and you stay. Pop in and stay. Yep. Steven Seagal is a good one. Tony Mentor. I mean, Tony. That's a very good one. Any Steven
yeah.
Seagal.
Oh, what was that one movie? What was that one movie he did with
Hard to Kill?
Tommy Lee Jones? No, Tommy Lee Jones.
Damn, what was that? What was that one?
What was that?
Yeah, I know which one you're
Shit.
talking about. He's the Navy chef. He's the Navy chef.
Yeah. What,
Yeah.
Under
what was
Siege.
it called?
Under Siege. That's
Under
it.
Siege.
Thank you, man. That's it.
Who?
Yeah.
Under Siege.
Under Siege.
Under
Yes.
Siege. That's my
like-
movie.
I
Yeah.
like both of them.
Okay, yeah.
More chestnut.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
My mama took me to see that
You know
movie.
what? You know what? We gotta go ahead and get out of here. We're gonna come up with a list somehow. We're gonna put it in the discussion group, and you need to go ahead and go over there and find it and actually vote on it, because we need to. What we want to do is we want to create a top 5 list with all of your input from the poll, so we can make a video on it. It's gonna be pretty hype. So anyway, guys, it's been a great show. Eric, thanks for joining us. We'll be catching you on We Got This Covered sometime down the road. For Meow Yin, for Big Kahuna, and for Super Nerd Plus, I'm Kenshiro. We'll see you guys later. Peace out.
Hey.
Peace out.